So you're interested in the Trails series but don't know where to start, and you searched for information before and found only hour-long videos and deep dives into the series. Am I correct? Good news for you, because I'm about to break it down for you in 4 quick parts just to make that navigation on the video easier for you, and hopefully, in less than 10 minutes, you'll have everything you need to get started. The Trails or Kiseki series is developed by Nihon Falcom, who also created the East series, another franchise I heartily recommend, but that's another topic altogether. Nihon Falcom is a small studio, but it's got decades of experience, and is, along with other companies such as Squaresoft and Enix, now Square Enix, one of the pioneers of the JRPG genre. And their 1984 game Dragon Slayer is the progenitor of the action RPG, laying down the foundations for the genre as we know it even today. Dragon Slayer had many sequels. One of them, Dragon Slayer The Legend of Heroes, spun off into its own series. The Trails games are a sub-series of The Legend of Heroes. The first game, Trails in the Sky, is actually The Legend of Heroes 6, but they abandoned that numbering very early on. The Trails series has been going on for nearly 20 years with 12 mainline games, 10 of which have been localized, with the latest releasing between March and July 2023. As of creating this guide, nothing has been announced about the localization of the remaining 2 games, but it's sure to happen. The Trails series takes place on the continent of Zemuria, about 50 years at the beginning of something called the Orbal Revolution, where Professor C. Epstein invented the Orbment, a piece of mechanical technology that uses special quartz crystals to do pretty much everything. The idea is based on the Industrial Revolution, where unlike ours, the rate of technological advancement in that world is incredibly fast. By the time the games begin, there are all sorts of cars, tanks, trains, airships, and even home appliances. There are also Orbal computers and an internet analog called the Orbal Network in development. Your characters use personal combat orbments to enhance their abilities and cast spells. There are even Orbal mechs in this world. 12 mainline games are mentioned are broken into 4 major arcs that take place in different countries across the continent. Trails in the Sky, with 3 games, is the first arc, in the Kingdom of Liberl. Trails from Zero and Trails to Azure form the second arc, also known as the Crossbell arc. Trails of Cold Steel, with 4 games, is the third arc, in the Empire of Erebonia. This is the arc with a giant mecha. Then there's Trails into Reverie, a game that serves more as an epilogue to the previous 2 arcs. The current arc, Trails in the Dark, aka Kuro no Kiseki, has 2 games so far and takes place in the Republic of Calvert. The world building, the narrative, and the characters are outstanding. First off, everything in the world makes sense. What I mean by that is you can follow the world's logic. For example, the advancement of Orbal technology has an impact on economics, through that into politics, and then the daily lives of citizens. So the decisions taken by people in this world, the relationships between nations, and even the fallout of different events all make perfect sense. And that extends to the serious wide meta plot. And even when the more mystical elements come into play, they still follow a sound logic that makes it easy to understand the story beats and their implications. Almost every NPC you come across has a name, and their dialogue conveys a unique perspective and personality. Not only that, but they go through arcs just as the main characters do. An example of this is in Trails in the Sky 2nd chapter. You see a couple on a flight discussing the new casino in the city you're traveling to, with the husband very excited about it. When you're in that city, you can visit the casino and find the husband there on a roll. A side quest pops up later where the wife asks you to go into the casino and thoroughly outplay and outbid her husband, so that when he loses, he'll snap out of it and leave the casino, ending this chapter of their lives. There are even minor NPCs with arcs across multiple games with satisfying payoffs. Main and important secondary characters are even more interesting and engaging, and you'll grow to care for them and share in their emotional twists and turns their lives take as they grow and evolve through their individual character arcs. And much like the world itself, character behavior makes complete sense given the different circumstances they find themselves in. Not to mention that very often character arcs don't just end with their games. If they show up in future Trails games, you'll see their growth, evolution, and learn what the next step of their arc is. Combat is a lot of fun. It's closer to tactics RPG than your usual turn-based titles, as movement, positions, and range can play a big part. You can see the initiative order and use it as a way to plan big attacks, and even use your abilities to interrupt or alter the turn order to take advantage of special bonuses that appear every once in a while, such as health recovery or gaining a boost in attack. Every game also changes the formula a bit, adding new combat options that make each title feel like a fresh experience. From group attacks and issuing special orders that alter how your abilities work to fully blown, go nuts and kick some butt special maneuvers. And then Cold Steel add a giant mecha into the mix. There are no random encounters. You can see the enemies in the field, and interacting with them is how you get into the fights. Later on, you can attack them on the field to stun them or outright kill them without going into a battle if they're low level enough. There's plenty of side content to do, and they're all rewarded not only by being fun, but giving you some form of mechanical reward. Fishing, cooking, trading card games, a Candy Crush style puzzle game, and even collecting books, which you can fully read, by the way. They're full-blown novels. Cold Steel Onwards also adds bonding, relationships, and a character journal. Imagine a Pokédex for NPCs. The music is outstanding. The soundtracks are phenomenal, with memorable tracks that perfectly match every location and situation, from the chill town music to the intense, brooding tones for that dive into the final dungeon. These are soundtracks with one certified banger after another. The battle music with Trails in the Sky will always have a special place in my heart, a very upbeat jazzy theme that might be the happiest sounding battle music I've ever heard. Even then, that's only the regular battles. Boss fights have their own special themes. The games are beautiful, from the early extremely expressive 2.5D sprites in 3D environments to the full 3D from Cold Steel onwards. The art style is gorgeous, environments are beautiful, characters look great, enemies look amazing, and the bosses look even better. Cutscenes are fully animated in-engine, and the animations for big spells and special attacks are a highlight. Completely over the top and incredibly fun to watch. There's also a turbo mode. Every localized release of the Trail series includes a turbo button to speed everything up. Want to zip around the map? You got it. Want that cutscene to be faster? Here you go. Want that combat to be lightning fast? Have fun. The tools are in your hands. The easy answer is wherever you want. Except for Trails into Reverie, since that's more of an epilogue. But other than that, pick an arc, grab the first game, and go nuts. If you want a longer answer, here it is. While it is true that there is a giant meta plot connecting all the different arcs, each of them is mostly self-contained, and where it's not, such as Cold Steel 3 and 4, where a lot of these meta plot elements come into play, you're given enough information so you're not lost if you didn't play any of the previous games. From dialogues to books and other in-world sources of information, you can piece together everything you need. It boils down to this. If you start from the beginning, Trails in the Sky, then go to Crossbell and Erebonia, you'll understand every reference and every instance of, hey, it's that guy. If you start from any other arc, you won't have those moments, but you won't be missing anything critical. And when you go back, which you will once you're hooked, you'll fill in whatever blanks you may have. Only reason I'd say start with Trails in the Sky is that the gameplay has evolved with every title, not just mechanics, but quality of life. Nihon Falcom has refined and redefined their formula over the years, and if you play from the start, you can see that evolution for yourself. If instead you start from a later title, going back might be a bit jarring. And if you're thinking, man, but it's so many games, remember the turbo button. It can significantly cut down the playtime of every title. There, that's everything you should need to jump into the series, and it didn't take that long. So now pick an arc, grab the first game, and happy trails. If you liked this video, please consider dropping a like, maybe hit that subscribe button, and let me know in the comments if you'd like more Trails content. You want a quick summary of the different arcs, a dive into combat and the Orbmans, how about a nice chat about the different organizations or the meta plot itself? Do you instead want something like this for another JRPG series, maybe the East series? And if this video hasn't answered all your questions and you need more, I'm currently playing through the series again on my Twitch channel. Come and let's talk. I can waffle about the Trail series endlessly. I truly love this series.